Hi everybody, it's Bill Nigut again here at Georgia Public Broadcasting with our ongoing series of reports about Campaign 2016. We'll be coming to you throughout this election year, giving you information that we hope helps you understand the process just a little bit better and leading up to that all-important general election in November of this year. So let's get going. Let's talk today about the general election itself. The election of a president is really a two-step process. The first step is the one that we're all very familiar with. On election day, registered voters go to their polling place and they cast ballots for their choice for President of the United States. That's called the popular vote. But the popular vote isn't the end of the process. The next step is when the electoral vote comes into play. Electoral votes are voted by members of the Electoral College, and it's these individuals who are the ones whose actual votes elect the President of the United States. So how do we determine the number of electoral votes that each state gets? The number of electors is basically determined by the number of congressmen and senators in each state. That's 538 total electors from around the United States. So what that means is that to actually be elected president, a candidate has to win 270 of those electoral votes. Here in Georgia, we have 16 electoral votes. That makes us important in the process. It's one of the bigger states out there. So here's what happens. You go to the polls, or your parents go to the polls on election day, and they choose their candidate. At the end of the election day, we see which candidate has won Georgia. The electors from Georgia are obligated, when they meet as part of the Electoral College, to cast their votes for the people that have been picked by the popular vote in Georgia, and those votes in the Electoral College go to help a candidate win the necessary 270 votes. So the Electoral College becomes more important than you might think. It's not just some arcane process that's been going on in this country since our first presidential elections. It's still important in the strategic thinking about each campaign. So let's talk about that. As we've already said, that Georgia has 16 electoral votes. But the bigger states include California with 55, New York with 29, Texas with 38. So because they have such large pools of electoral votes, campaigns want to make sure they can win in those states to help build the total toward 270 they're going to need. Now, California is typically a Democratic state. New York is often Democratic. And Texas is almost always Republican, too. So in a general election campaign, a candidate may decide not to focus too much attention on those states because they're reliably either Democratic or Republican, despite the large number of electoral votes that those states will deliver. So instead, campaigns focus on what we call swing states. A great example is the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania can go either Democrat or Republican, and so it's usually a very, very highly competitive state for general election candidates between Republicans and Democrats. There are a lot of people out there who think the Electoral College should be eliminated and a president should be elected by popular vote, but right now, it's the best system we've got. See you again next time.